Foreign objects here. The second stream of the day, we have Mr. Ludwig Xav back with us, and he is going to be playing The Order 1886 on PlayStation 4, which just came out completely blind. He has not played the game yet.
It's fresh off the presses. It's going to be off the hook, off the chain, probably, off the charts. It looks like I'm being submerged underwater right now. If there was a QTE for me to escape this, I missed it.
So do you know the background of the game at all? Do you know the story behind it or anything from the preview events?
I know that it takes place in the year 1886, and I know that you are one of the Knights of the Round, and that they have been keeping each other... They've been staying alive through some kind of toxic chemical that they've been drinking.
Yeah, it's like this creepy black goo that they keep...
something that you would never drink.
It looks like sludge. It's pretty disgusting. This was the game that they announced a long time ago, and I remember us being at a preview event when they showed it off for the first time, and even at that point we were like, it looks really impressive, but you could tell it was a game that was going to take a little longer to make than they originally intended, because there was just so much behind it. There's so much technology behind it.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be a really good example of sort of all these next generation rendering techniques and lighting techniques being used to build the game from scratch. And it's probably going to be visible in every single facet of the game.
So this game combines some fantastical stuff too, because it's you don't only fight humans, you fight monsters as well, right?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be an element of sort of the Hammer horror, old Victorian era London.
Oncoming Storm in chat asks, will I miss out if I haven't played the first 1,885 games?
Probably not. I think each game is a self-contained story like Final Fantasy.
Oh, QTEs!
So I'm trying to escape this prison. At least I'm assuming you're trying to escape prison. I can't imagine anyone wanting to be in a prison like this.
I think you're just finding your cell to go lay down.
Like, excuse me, you put me in the wrong cell. Don't worry, I've got it. I will show myself to the correct cell. Guns are pretty useful in prison escapes. And I can inspect it using the left analog stick. Oh man, this gun is so cool. Look at the craftsmanship, the seamless nature of the metalwork. I'm never leaving this prison. I'm just going to do this in all perpetuity. See, in this game you play as someone who is obsessed with guns.
Wait, go look for some shells and just look at the shells for 20 minutes.
Each individual cell. This is basically Shenmue 3. Where we just investigate every single item up close. I mean, I think even if you don't appreciate this game, you can probably get used to a lot of the techniques used to light and render the environments. This will be what games look like a couple of years from now in regular occurrence. Because we're still in this transition phase. Like, even really big games like Dragon Age are still coming out on both systems. This is a PS4 only game. Go to sleep. Go to sleep! I think X is the most powerful button in the game so far.
X is definitely OP. KR Raven says, graphics are amazing, but he heard it's pretty short. What are your thoughts on short? You've reviewed a lot of games. What are your thoughts on short games?
I think by the time you get to the end of a game, you'll feel whether or not it was too short. It all depends on what you want from a game, right? Like, and what kind of game you're in the mood for. If I was in the mood for like a really solid, tightly directed game that was over in a few hours... And it was a good story, and it was well made. I think it would feel... I mean, the gamble a game like this is making is that the story is good enough to warrant your attention to the point where they will take away control so often. And the quality of the story will be very instrumental in whether or not you decide, well, this is worth my money or not. It's like when you go see a bad movie. You have a certain investment, and then when you leave the movie, you decide whether or not that was worth my money. And that's arguably one of the most cinematic things about this game, is that the quality of the story will determine your feelings on the matter. If you are looking for a game to occupy your time for a certain number of hours, then you're coming to it with different expectations, in which case a game that's over pretty quickly, and that is over pretty quickly, or that is, has a story-driven ambition, will probably not meet your expectations. But then you have something like Dragon Age. You can spend $60 on Dragon Age and be occupied for hundreds of hours, whereas you will spend $60 on this, and it'll just keep you busy for a few hours.
I've never got to the end of a game that I loved and thought it would have been better if it was 3 hours longer. I think we always want more because we enjoy the experience, but never to think that, like, oh, the game would have been better if it was longer. I don't know that I've had that specific thought.
And also some games I don't want to be long. Recently we played Alien Isolation. That was too long. Games that are very grueling or intensive and exhausting are worse off if they are too long, if they outstay your welcome, because at some point your love turns into, I just want to get over this, I just want to get through it. And you start resenting it. And I'm sure that when you think of value, there's also something like, when I see this landscape in front of me, this London, this steampunk London, it looks really cool, I want to explore it. Does the game allow me to see a lot of it, or am I going to miss out on it? Like, do I feel hampered or limited? Maybe that's part of the value equation too, is how much can I really do in this game, or how deeply can I embrace what it's trying to give me?
K.R. Raven in the chat is saying that you're making some fair points. He likes a good balance between length and looks, but he's mostly an RPG player, so he feels cheated if he only gets 5 hours out of a game. So I feel like your specific genre or what you're used to will also inform the decision as whether or not you think it's a good value proposition for a particular game.
From what I can tell you that I appreciate about this game immediately is that there are no long-term video game mechanisms designed to keep you playing forever, like progression systems. Like, I mean, it really is, the story is at the center, the story of the action. There's a really cute elephant over here. So I think this game should get perfect scores because there's an elephant in it.
Yeah, any game that has like a penguin in it, I would give a 5 out of 5 to.
Right, like if you put in cute animals, it's over. There's just no more negotiation. It would be nice to have everything, and it's okay to want everything in a game. It's just not very rarely that you get it. Because so many parts in a game are almost at war with each other. I mean, if you look at something like Destiny, it would be nice if Destiny had that gunplay married to a decent story. But a lot of people are completely satisfied with just what they get out of the gunplay. Also, kudos to a game that starts slow, especially a game of the action or shooter genre, because usually these things, they just kind of throw you in without even establishing a status quo or anything. Like, I mean, the start of a story is usually there's a premise and then something happens to change it, right? And these games are usually so worried that you'll wander off and lose interest that they start with a shootout, and it's like they can only amp it up from there.
Yeah, it's the Transformers movie of game design.
I mean, sometimes that works. You can start with a kick-ass opening, but it can be confusing or bewildering or unjustified. Although I see a knee-high bit of cover there, so maybe a shootout is about to start.
Yeah, it's funny when you see those spots. Although there should be,
just highly suspicious
there
of
should be
it.
a drinking game if there already isn't one for every time you start a game in a jail cell. As every time you play a Bethesda game, you'll just be drunk within the first 10 minutes of it.
My favorite thing about Bethesda games is once you know, like once they cast their biggest actor in the game, you know who dies within the first hour or disappears. Oh, you got Liam Neeson or Patrick Stewart? Wow, that's amazing. They will disappear after the first hour of gameplay.
Yeah, like the father in Fallout 3. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Liam Neeson. All right, we're taking cover. Someone is shooting at us, finally.
Finally, a little bit of action here.
She just said, let's get to work, which means shoot that guy. Right, equipping a gun. I like how the place where I'm taking cover is sort of slightly more in focus in the background. Learning how to blind fire, and I'm going to learn how to aim and shoot. Look at the scale of the environment's also pretty impressive. Like, I really do feel like we're in this really big street, like downtown in the city. Like, even if this shooting is relatively simplistic in this game, as long as it can create sort of the feel of excitement and drama through the music and the graphics, then that's at least half the battle won. Let's see, let's check the directory. Should we go to the Grandy Lounge, Wallace Pub, Gentleman's Lounge, Public Studies, Cigar Bar, Tennyson's Restaurant, the Game Room, Administrative Offices, Pembroke Wallace Galleries and Archives. Offices, I think we should go to the offices, consult someone on the current situation.
Yeah, stop by that game room, see what's up, see if they're playing the Order 1885. Maybe they have the prequel in there.
The Order 1886 is just a reskin of the Order 1885s. They just updated the rosters. Well, that looks like a priceless vase over there. I'm going to prioritize my shots on that. Okay, I feel better now. Wonder if I can destroy individual wine glasses. Yep. I'm going to shoot this piece of steak now. Ha! It's gone. That's how you do a steak really well.
Actually, Frozen says, if you destroy everything, the game might take 8 to 10 hours. So, get cracking. There, I see plenty more steaks on the table.
I want to see what people were eating here. So that looks like a delicious kind of dessert, like maybe like a sponge cake or maybe some tiramisu. I feel like spork is more likely to be part of. Oh man, you're about to see some plates explode in a fantastic way. You're going to enjoy it. I'm just telling you. Meanwhile, his partner's like, I'm ready when you are, Galahad. When you're done shooting at the random objects in the room, we have an important mission. Can we please get on with it?
Those plates exploded real well.
What about the flowers? We haven't done a test on the flowers yet. Oh, flowers are impervious to shots. I just destroyed an entire plate of desserts. I feel ashamed of myself. I think he ate them. I think he ate all of those desserts.
He shot him into the air and just caught him in his mouth. Missed it. Oh. Look at this. There's gunfire going on, and one of your dudes is hitting on a lady.
I guess he's the Casanova.
Let me know if there's humorous use of the word frock later. This is what initially worries me about this game. It's really pretty, and I want to play outside in that great big world that we saw when you started and you got out of the prison area. But if it's going to be like Crisis, where, hey, look, Manhattan's gorgeous, now go in a sewer. What's your start to sewer? Is this considered a sewer with the start to sewer ratio on this?
I would not consider this a sewer. But yes, I'm glad that you're referencing my start to sewer.
Explain to people your start to sewer idea.
Well, I mean, so there was a website called Old Man Murray back in the day. They had a review system where they would review a game based on how quickly you would see crates. And the sooner you saw crates, the worse the game was. And now there were obviously exceptions, like if a game showed you a crate immediately as if to throw itself on the mercy of the court, that was acceptable. And so I find it even worse that when you find yourself in a sewer, the sooner you find yourself in a sewer in a game, the lower quality. This is starting to look kind of sewer-like.
I'm watching the stream as you're talking about it, and I'm like, this is pretty sewer-like.
There are always exceptions. Sure. I should point out. But yeah, usually because like sewers are dark and uninteresting and they're just tunnels, which is not a great place to spend time in, especially if you're an action game, because it's like relatively linear movement and I mean, who signs up for sewers when they play action games?
I mean, action games put you in a position or in a place that you can't go but you would want to go or do things that you would want to do. It's never been my dream to go inside of a sewer and climb around.
I've just discovered a mysterious figure. Oh, he's transforming in front of me. This is disgusting.
Everyone.
How about start to werewolf ratio?
Oh,
we're trying to track down escapees. I think they escaped prison. This guy is referred to as what we call a half-breed, which I'm assuming is just a werewolf.
Some lycanthrope of some kind.
Okay, I got one. Oh, you have to press triangle to finish them off before they recover. So you have to finish it off with a melee attack once you've downed them. So this is interesting. The roll is contextual. It's not... you can't just roll
that's
whenever,
what the X
it looks like.
The prompt is coming up.
Yeah, so like if you hit it in time, you can roll out of the way.
Do you choose the direction you're rolling out of?
No, you just press X. Oh, so that's interesting. Like, I was going to get rid of the last one, but he ran off and it triggered a cutscene.
The last one got away.
So they kind of snuck in a cutscene transition there.
Oh, interesting. So this is coming up in chat a little bit. The 5-hour number that's been thrown around, it's because there was someone on YouTube who put in a complete playthrough. I guess they got a copy of the game early somehow. Put a complete playthrough and beat the game in 5 hours, but they did it by rushing through the world, never looked at any objects. So I would say, like, on average, if it would take 5 hours to rush through it, it could take you anywhere between 7 and 8 hours.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you stop and smell the roses, or in our case, shoot them,
or try to, this is a really fun and interesting chase sequence through the city, and it shows more of the world that I think is pretty cool.
Oh no!
Did you die?
I failed. She's dead.
Oh no! Oh Jesus! That is a brutal death animation. Yeah. Holy hell!
It goes much better the second time.
Okay, great.
I failed the cutscene. It wasn't just a button press though. Like I had to aim, charge up the gun, and release it in time before she got got.
God, the characters in this game look really great too.
We meet in council 2 days hence.
Some good beard
action. Fantastic beard action. This is the best generation to release this game in. Beards are in vogue right now. Beards are great. Mustaches are great. There's just so much of it going around. This looks like a game design studio's major staff, really. If you go to any game design studio right now, you're seeing beards and mustaches such as these. I will say, though, that for the first chapter, that wasn't a lot of combat. It was a lot of cutscene for that first chapter.
Right. But the character models are good. The one thing that I don't think looks as good as I've seen in other games is I don't think the eyes are as good.
Yeah, they're a little beady. They're a little dead. But maybe that's just how it was in 1886. I don't know. Historically accurate eyes. That's what I'm looking for in my video games.
Oh, I guess I started playing again.
Are you finding that it's happening a lot where you're just like, oh, it's my turn now?
Oh, I was waiting for the scene to transition again, and it was like, nope, you're playing now. So this is a kind of sense of scale and quality of lighting that I haven't seen since like Assassin's Creed Unity. So whatever you want to say about that game, visually, it's really impressive.
I am interested in playing it, having seen the first chapter.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not unpleasant. It hasn't blown me away yet, but like I'm interested to see where it's going. And I'm glad it's not about what I initially thought, which was the first time someone ordered a pizza.
Someone saying that they always thought that you were overweight, and they're surprised that you're not overweight. So take that as a compliment, I suppose.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, thank you for noticing that I'm not overweight.
It's weird, though, because every time I'd see him at E3, he did bring a fat suit.
As I get up, there's like a giant body attached to my...
orbit behind me. Everyone, follow us on Twitter, at Foreign Show, FOREIGNSHOW, for times of when we're going to stream. You can get our recaps. We have highlight videos,
and we'll have some original YouTube stuff pretty soon. Hopefully next week. I have to work on that.
We have some video preview stuff coming up that we have that's going to be on our YouTube channel. If you want to get to our YouTube channel and subscribe, there are links at the bottom of our channel. So go to twitch.tv/Foreign Objects. Thank you so much for watching. Luddy, thank you so much for showing off the Order. I'm excited to play it, having seen it. I think it looks fantastic, and I'm interested to see whether or not that the brevity of the game is worthy of the money that it's asking. And that's definitely been something in the past where companies have got that right. So hopefully this is one that does it as well. Next week we were talking about doing a show dedicated about jobs. All week next week. Streaming games on the job hunt. We're both on the job hunt now. The joystick's done. So we need to learn new skills. So we're going to be playing games like Viscera Cleanup Crew, I think. We're going to be playing The Hunter. Maybe the two of us can become foragers in this forest. We'll find out. A bunch of other games. We're going to have a schedule up on our Twitch channel too. So we'll catch you next time, guys. Thanks a lot.